Hey there folks, Mark Johnson from TechSnob. I'm going to do a head-to-head today of the Blackberry Z10 versus the Samsung Galaxy S3. Now, Samsung Galaxy S3 has been out a while, but it's still a very popular phone. A lot of people still buying it, so I figure it's definitely a good candidate to go against the Z10, which just came out recently here in the U.S. Both of these phones, have flagship prices, with the Z10 being at $199. Now, with the Galaxy S4 coming out, you can get the Galaxy S3 now. I've seen from $99 and cheaper a lot of times. So it's definitely a good buy at $99. So definitely keep that in mind. But hardware and design, just kind of looking at both devices, definitely the S3 is thinner, as you could tell. I mean, it is a curved back. It's a bigger phone, but it's definitely thinner, and it's a tad bit, I'd say, wider to hold in the hand. It's a little bit more awkward to hold in the hand versus the Z10. Z10 does have a very nice feel. I like the materials on it. Blackberry definitely did a fine job of designing the phone. It is plastic, but they're both plastic. So I definitely would I'd give the leg up on this one to the Z10 with just the design on it. Also has the HDMI port built into it. And everything's no home button or anything. It's gesture based. So if you have it off, you swipe up, turn it right on. Looking at the S3, you do have the power button on the right-hand side and the volume rocker, and you have your home button here at the bottom, along with the menu button and the back button that do disappear when you don't touch it for a while. Both have their headphone jacks on the top. They both have expandable micro SD storage, so that's they're pretty much evenly matched there. Now, one thing that's pretty glaringly different with the S3 is it does have a bigger screen at 4.7 inches versus 4.2 on the Z10. So if you like a bigger screen, obviously the S3 is going to win that hands down. As far as performance goes, I haven't noticed anything different between the two. They both seem to move, very quick and fast. The Z10, you can jump into apps and in and out of things with ease. No real major problems there. I will say that, the S3 has been out a year, and it's kind of good thing to say it's been lasting with the hardware, with all the newer phones coming out with, quad core chips and 1080p screens. These phones have very similar specs. There's a 720p screen on both of them. They're both dual core processors. I do believe, though, that the Blackberry only has a gig of RAM on it versus the 2 that's on the S3. I'll just double check that real quick if I can. Let's see, Blackberry general hardware. Although it does have 2 gigs of memory as well, so that's a good thing. So they're very evenly matched here. I mean, they're for the most part, you do have more flexibility with Android. You could do a lot more with it. Although you can run Android apps on the Z10, which is good. I've seen people running Instagram and so forth. Of course, you have to side load it, meaning you got to hook this into a computer. You can't just go into the App Store like you could on the Android device, the Play Store or the Samsung Store rather, and get into your apps. Speaking of which, when you go into the App Store, it's a big glaring difference. I mean, it's not even a real comparison between the two. As far as software and applications go, Android's going to win hands down. Samsung wins hands down. It has so many crazy cool features with Samsung phones, stuff that you may never even use, but I've shown this one before. You just swiping your finger across the screen, it will take screenshots, just like that. So just things like that, it's pretty cool about the device. BlackBerry's still building out their app store. It's probably their biggest downfall, at the moment as far as on the software. You just need to get more developers out there getting apps and movies and music and all that kind of stuff. Even though they're going to partner with someone for music, because BBM Music is going to be shutting down shortly. So that's something to keep in mind if you're really into a lot of music apps and so forth. Another thing to look at as far as network radio performance, that's all great. There's really they're both 4G LTE. They both, where you live at, depending on what carrier you use, it's going to be just fine. For the main part, with Samsung, you do get a lot more crazy gimmicky features with the GPS stuff. You get the Google Now, you get all Kias Air, and there's NFC, which the NFC is on the Blackberry. You have S-Beam, you have All Sharecast, you have all kind of crazy stuff. And I'm sure you can do a lot of that with the BlackBerry once their app store keeps, kicking up with developers making good apps for it. But, for the most part, it's pretty bare bones. You do have going into your network connections. You do have hotspot. You could do VPN. You could do NFC, Bluetooth. So they both have all the basics. It's basically not so much the hardware as it's going to be the software. And I think that's really what separates the two. Overall, it really comes down to what you like. Obviously, there's more flexibility with Android. So if you like to do a lot with your phone, definitely take a look at any Android phone over, BlackBerry 10 OS. But with just these two, I have to give the leg up to the S3, and that's the fact that it's $99 now. And with the BlackBerry Z10, my main dislike of it is really mainly the price and then the software that's out for it right now. It's just one of those things where for $200, it's hard to kind of recommend it over even a device like the S3 that's been out a year, but it's got a lot of support from a lot of different various third-party companies overall, where people are still playing a wait-and-see approach with the Z10. Google doesn't even make any apps for the Z10 there. You can use the web apps, but you don't have any native apps on it. So definitely keep that in mind when you're looking at both. But if you want to try something different, hey, go for the Z10. It's not a bad device, but I would probably really urge you to wait till it drops to $99 or cheaper, because I just think it's just worth your money more so at that price point. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the site, tech-snobs.com, for more coverage. And there's going to be a lot more news coming along the way. Take care.